In honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., I would love to read you some words from Isabel Wilkerson's brilliant book, Caste. And here are some words from MLK himself to start us off. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Anything you do, just keep moving. One more time. If you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Anything you do, just keep moving. Some words from Caste by Isabel Wilkerson. Chapter 3, called The American Untouchable. In the winter of 1959, after leading the Montgomery bus boycott that arose from the arrest of Rosa Parks, and before the trials and triumphs to come, Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta, landed in India to visit the land of Mohandas Gandhi, the father of nonviolent protest. They were covered in garlands upon their arrival, and King told reporters, "To other countries I may go as a tourist, but to India I come as a pilgrim." He had long dreamed of going to India, and they stayed an entire month at the invitation of the Prime Minister. King wanted to see for himself the place whose fight for freedom from British rule had inspired his fight for justice in America. He wanted to see the so-called untouchables, the lowest caste in the Indian caste system, whom he had read of and sympathy for, but still had left behind after India gained its independence the decade before. He discovered that people in India had been following the trials of his own oppressed people in America. People knew of the bus boycotts he had led. Wherever he went, people on the streets of Bombay and Delhi went and crowded him, asking for autographs. One afternoon, King and his wife journeyed to the southern tip of the country, and there they considered, next page. There they visited with high school students whose families had been untouchables. The principal made the introduction. "Young people," he said, "I would like to present to you a fellow untouchable from the United States of America." King was floored. He had not expected that term to be applied to him. He was, in fact, put off by it at first. He had flown in from another continent, had dined with the Prime Minister. He did not see the connection, did not see what the Indian caste system had to do directly with him, not immediately see the lowest caste people in India viewing him, an American Negro, as a distinguished visitor, as low caste like themselves. "For a moment," he wrote, "I was a bit shocked and peeved that I would be referred to as an untouchable." Then he began to think about the reality of lives of the people he was fighting for. 20 million people consigned to the lowest rank in America for centuries, quote, "still smothering in an airtight cage of poverty," unquote, quarantined in isolated ghettos, exiles in their own country. He said to himself, "Yes, I am untouchable, and every Negro in the United States of America is untouchable." And in that moment, he realized that the land of the free had imposed a caste system not unlike the caste system of India, and that he lived under that system all his life. It was what lay beneath the forces he was fighting in America. And that is just the beginning. If you haven't already, I cannot highly enough recommend Caste by Isabel Wilkerson, or her prior book, The Warmth of Other Suns, and any number of amazing books. There are so many ways to begin and continue this crucial conversation, never more timely, 400 years later, 2,000 years later. I'm so honored to join this journey and join the conversation with you, friends. These are not separate things from the seeds that we sow. And may we sow seeds of abundance, joy, and justice for all in our minds, in our gardens, and in the thoughts that we think, the conversations we share. And thank you for joining me on the journey.